It's time for America Outdoors Radio. The fast-paced hour of outdoors radio ahead is not only awesome, but unlike those other shows, you can actually sleep in for this one. Better still, we've got a special Pacific Northwest edition for you. You won't find this version of America Outdoors Radio anywhere else, and you'll only hear it here on KRKO AM 1380.
I'm glad you're here today because we've got some great news for you salty salmon anglers. The fishing is hot. I mean really hot right now in Marine Area 5 out of Seiku. Captain Tom Burlingame with XL Fishing Charters will be telling you more about that as we chat for one final time, at least on a weekly basis at the bottom of the hour. You'll want to stick around for the end of the show too, because we'll be talking to Captain Steve Kesling, the owner of Adventure Charters, about the rockfish he's catching in Puget Sound right now. Before you get all excited about the fact that rockfish season has been closed for years, let me explain. He's doing this with volunteer anglers in partnership with NOAA Fisheries, and it's all in the name of research. Speaking of what's hot here in the Northwest, Ladies' Night is going to be really hot at your local Sportsman's Warehouse store on April 5th, and that includes the one on Everett Mall Parkway, where from 5:30 to 8 p.m. there are going to be games, raffles, giveaways, and all sorts of fun just for the outdoors enthusiasts of the female persuasion. Ladies' Night is a free event, and it only happens once a year, so don't miss it this Thursday, April 5th, at your local Sportsman's Warehouse. Checking the World Wide Web here locally, one poster at northwestfishingreports.com had one heck of a day, catching and releasing some 25 9 to 12-inch rainbow trout out of Lost Lake near Maltby in Snohomish County last weekend. He was fishing Elgin Fishing God's Tooth spoons and caught these fish both trolling and casting in the upper 5 feet of the water column. Heading east to Grant County, our friends at Mardon Resort report some walleye are being caught on Potholes Reservoir with half-ounce blade baits in 50 to 55 feet of water. Largemouth bass fishing is picking up on the reservoir too, with several 5 to 6 pounders boated in the sand dunes, and trout are being caught in the seep lakes just south of the reservoir. If you want to come over during spring break, the resort is offering a special through April 15th where you can stay 3 nights for the price of 2. Find out more about the spring break special at mardonresort.com. If you'd rather go south, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife reports fishing on the Cowlitz has been kind of slow below the I-5 bridge, but better above it. Creel checkers found downstream of the I-5 bridge 65 bank rods with 1 kept adult spring chinook and 2 kept steelhead. Above the I-5 bridge, though, 35 bank anglers kept 4 spring chinook and 6 steelhead, and 139 anglers and boats kept 2 adult springers and 43 steelhead, releasing 2 more steelhead and a cutthroat. Heading to Oregon's northwest coast, the guide's forecast reports bottom fishing has been excellent out of Garibaldi when boats have been able to get out. Deep reef jiggers have been doing well on large lingcod and rockfish. Finally, spring turkey season is right around the corner, so now is the time to pattern that shotgun, and if you're going to hunt private land, get permission to do so. The hot spots, as usual, will be in northeast Washington near Colville and the Blue Mountains of southeast Washington, so there you go. Now you know what's hot and what's not right here in the Pacific Northwest.
And with that, let's head to this week's national edition of America Outdoors Radio.
Tillamook Bay is considered the greatest fishing experience on the west coast for fall Chinook salmon and winter steelhead, and Dungeness crab is plentiful. 5 major rivers connect with the ocean on the Tillamook coast. It's not unusual to snag a 40 to 50 pounder. Go out in a boat or stand on a riverbank or dock. Try fishing from a dory boat and experience the thrill of a beach launch and landing. Use spinners, sand shrimp, or salmon eggs to lure them. The fish will line up to grab your bait. Go to tillamookcoast.com/fishing to find guides and places to stay.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
All good things must come to an end, and that includes our weekly conversations with Tom Burlingame, who owns XL Fishing Charters, and he's been fishing, as you know, Marine Area 5 out of Seiku since it opened on March 16th. Tom, how was the fishing this last week out there?
It was awesome, John. We were able to limit the boat every trip this week. It was as good as it gets at Seiku.
And folks need to remember, this is not a one hatchery fish limit. This is a 2-fish limit, isn't it?
That's right, John. 2 fish per person, and they were coming fast. Most days we were done by noon.
That is what I call a good fishing trip. And like we talked about before, you don't have to go very far to get into these fish, do you?
No, we run from Nia Bay. Our boat is moored in Nia Bay, and it's about a 40-minute trip for us.
And have you continued to troll spoons for these fish?
You bet, John. We haven't changed our tactics at all. They've been working great. Small presentation with spoons right on the bottom, and the white ones and white glow seems to be working the best.
Well, like you said, imitating those candlefish. And the size of the fish, has that changed, or where are we at now?
It's been about the same. They've been averaging about 24 to 26 inches, and we've had a half dozen fish or so that have been a little larger, up to about 9 pounds.
Do you expect to break 10 pounds before the season ends, and when does the season end?
Yes, we do expect to break 10 pounds. We actually have done it. We had one springer this week that was pushing 20, but he had a fin. We had to turn him loose. This is a selective fishery, but it was a joy to catch him. And our season ends at the end of April, the last day of April.
Well, folks, you still have time to enjoy the great fishing that's going on right now over at Seiku, Marine Area 5. The person to call is Tom Burlingame. His website is xlfishingcharters.com. I'll spell that for you, EXCEL, fishingcharters.com. Get there to xlfishingcharters.com. Book a trip now because the fishing is hot. Thanks as always, Tom.
Thank you, John. I've appreciated visiting with you this year.
There's a whole bunch more of the great outdoors coming your way on Fox Sports 1380.
Looking for a way to get the message out about your business to hunters and anglers throughout the Seattle and Everett area? Then consider advertising with America Outdoors Radio on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO. To find out more, contact John Cruz through his website at americaoutdoorsradio.com.
Let's get back to the local outdoors scene. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, heard exclusively here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
For your final local shot of the outdoors, if you're out fishing in Puget Sound in the next few weeks and you see a boat out there with a research flag on there and you see folks reeling up rockfish, don't get excited. They're not breaking the law. More than likely, they are on a boat owned by Steve Kesling, the owner of Adventure Charters, and they're reeling in rockfish for a very good reason. Steve, tell our listeners what you're doing out there.
Hello, thank you for having me. I've been working with NOAA and National Marine Fisheries for about the past 4 years on several different studies involving rockfish and lingcod in Puget Sound. The current study that we're working on is a rockfish and lingcod bycatch study. It's been suggested to fisheries managers by myself and other anglers for a number of years that we can target lingcod while minimizing bycatch of rockfish using select baits, large live baits like Pacific sand dab, kelp greenling, great sculpin, and others. And so the study we're currently working on is designed to prove or disprove that. If it ends up proving it, we may someday be able to fish deeper than 120 feet for rockfish. Currently the sound has a 120-foot rule restriction. But if we can fish deeper for lingcod and not impact rockfish, that would be good. And we have been using volunteer anglers to participate in the fishing. People can take a look at our Facebook page at Fishing Seattle with Adventure Charters, see pictures and a bit of video about this study.
And Steve, I understand that you're pretty full up, but you've still got a few spaces left for volunteer anglers to help you out with this research. And I understand you want them to go to your Facebook page at Fishing Seattle with Adventure Charters and to contact you there. Is that correct?
Yep, that would be great.
Sounds like it may pay off with some opportunity for all of us, so thank you for doing it. And again, folks, if you're interested in participating, Steve's not there to take you out for a day of fishing and massage your feet or anything like that. You're there to help him do some research, and yes, you'll have some fun in the process. The place to go to is his Facebook page. Again, that's Fishing Seattle with Adventure Charters. Like that Facebook page and then contact Steve and you can have a conversation and he'll see if it's a good fit. Steve, thanks for what you're doing and thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Again, there's no guarantees you're going to be picked, but what an opportunity. We're out of time, but don't worry. We'll do it again next Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on Fox Sports KRKO.